So March was a massive book buying and book receiving month for me because it was my birthday and Amazon had a sale on. So I'm just going to get right into it and tell you what I got and what I bought because there's quite a few books to get through. The first thing I got was V.E. Schwab's The Near Witch. Now this is a recent re-release of her debut novel and I actually really enjoyed myself with this one, and I have talked about it more in my wrap up, so I will link that up above. Next is V.E. Schwab's The Steel Prince. This is the Forbidden Planet exclusive cover, which also came with this signed bit of card, which is quite cool, that I'm going to hang up somewhere. I'm not entirely sure where at the moment. And it also came with this, which is sort of like a mini comic thing that's been uninked, so you just have the line drawings, which I thought was really cool and really interesting. Now I've already read The Steel Prince and I absolutely loved it, and I gave this 5 stars, and again I mentioned it in my wrap up, which I will have linked up above. Finally, on the V.E. Schwab front, I got a Gathering of Shadows collector's edition because I've already got the collector's edition of Darker Shade of Magic, and I am slowly collecting these books in collector's editions because otherwise I've only got them in Kindle. So I had to get this one and it's absolutely gorgeous. I mean, let me show you the naked cover on this. I mean, look at that. Beautiful. And then with the end pages, all his like fan art in it as well. It's just the most beautiful thing I've ever seen, and I'm so excited to get the final one next year because then I'll have the complete set and I cannot wait for it. On to things that weren't V.E. Schwab now, and the first thing I got was Trail of Lightning by Rebecca Rowanhorse. Now this is a Native American inspired urban fantasy all about a woman who hunts down Native American folklore, which kind of sounded like what happens when you mix American Gods by Neil Gaiman with Supernatural, and quite frankly I'm here for it. I've heard about this book so often on BookTube, I couldn't ignore it, especially when it was slightly reduced, so I had to pick it up and I cannot wait to read this. Not sure when at the moment, but I really cannot wait to get to it. Next was the Wayward Children series of Down Among the Sticks and Bones, Beneath the Sugar Sky and In an Absent Dream, because I already own Every Heart a Doorway. I absolutely adored reading that a couple of months ago and I've been desperate to get the rest of the series ever since, so I am so happy to finally have these and I cannot wait to read them. I think I may read one of these maybe next month for the Owl, so I'm not entirely sure yet, but either way I am so excited to get to these. They're so short but just so impactful and I cannot wait. I especially can't wait for Down Among the Sticks and Bones because this one's all about Jack and Jill, who were the most fascinating characters out of the entire lot, and I can't wait to read more about their story. And then we go on to the Kindle books, because when Amazon have a sale on, which means that 90% of the comics on your wish list go down to £3.74 or are at least half price, you buy them. Like, there was no way I was leaving all of these comics on Amazon without being bought when they are suddenly £3.74 compared to like 7, 8, 9, 10 quid. You know, like, there was one that went down from 20 quid to 8. Like, how am I going to leave those? I couldn't. It was my birthday month. I decided to treat myself, so here are all the comics I got, and there's a few. First one was Spider-Gwen Volume 1. Now, I know nothing about this story like I do with 90% of these comics I've just bought, but I really enjoyed Spider-Gwen in Into the Spider-Verse and I wanted to read more about her, so I decided to get Volume 1 in her series and I cannot wait to read it. Next was The Road to Civil War. Now this one is the prequel to the original Civil War comic story, and I decided to get this A because it was cheap, and B, it is the sort of lead up comic to Civil War, so I figured it's probably a good idea to actually get that now in case I need it. And also it's all about Spider-Man and Doctor Strange and quite a few of my other favourite characters. Can't really ignore that. Next one was Avengers Final Host, and this one wasn't actually on my wish list like The Road to Civil War wasn't, but I saw it. It was also reduced to £3.74, which is really oddly specific number when you think about it, but I thought this sounded like a really good time. Also, it's about the Avengers, and quite frankly, I need more Avengers in my life, and it may be a good idea to get a whole lot of Avengers comics now before they all get killed off, so I can sort of enjoy them now, maybe, or try to sort of heal the wounds of Endgame by reading them. I'm not entirely sure at the moment, but I bought it anyway, and I'm really excited to read it, despite the fact that I can't remember what it's about. The next one was on my list, and that was Hawkeye, My Life as a Weapon. Now this one again was reduced. It's been on my list for like 3 years now or something, and I discovered that I don't actually have any books about Hawkeye or books with Hawkeye in that much. So I decided to get My Life as a Weapon because it seems to be the most popular one and the one that sort of everybody loves practically universally, so I thought it was going to be a good shot. The next two were Doctor Strange comics, which were Blood in the Ether and Last Days of Magic. Now these are volumes 2 and 3 to a Doctor Strange series that I've already got 1 and 4 of because I bought 1 years ago, read it, loved it, then got 4 because it was reduced at the time, and now I've got 2 and 3 because they were also reduced, so I can finally read the entire series, despite the fact that I can't actually remember what it's all about. All I know is that I enjoyed it and that it was about Doctor Strange, so I'm counting it, you know? I can't remember what it's about. I can't remember what most of these comics were about, but I just know that I've wanted these for a very long time, and when they're reduced, you grab them. Next was volume 2 of Legion, which is Invasive Exotics, because I read his first comic last year and really enjoyed myself, because I just generally like Legion. He's the son of Charles Xavier, but he's even more powerful than Charles Xavier, and he's also pretty much a wild card in terms of powers and what he's going to do next, and I really love that about his character, and I can't wait to read this one because I feel like it's been a while since I've read anything with Legion in, because the last thing I read was Second Coming, I think it was. He was in the House of M big storyline, and that's the last time I saw anything of him, and quite frankly I miss him. Next was She-Hulk Single Green Female, because this one has been on my wish list for, again, about 2 years now, and I've never been able to find her anywhere apart from on Amazon, and when she goes down to £3.75 and I really want to read something about She-Hulk because I do have a little minifigure of her, but I don't actually know anything about her further than the fact that she's permanently green and a lawyer, so I thought this would be a good place to start. I'm hoping it's a good place to start. And just generally, I'm really excited to read more female characters and female-led comics in the Marvel universe because I feel like I don't read that many. So I think She-Hulk's going to be a really good place to set off after Captain Marvel. Next was Hawkeye Kate Bishop, and I've bought this one simply because of the Endgame trailer where there's a girl with a bow and arrow, which may or may not be Kate Bishop. So I thought I'd get my research in first now, just in case it is her. I don't know, but I thought I'd get my research in, and also if she's not in there, then at least I've read another female character in the Marvel comic universe I hadn't read about before. Next is Doctor Strange Damnation. Now, all I know about this one is that he's in Vegas. That's all I know. That's all I needed to know. It went from £20 to £8, and that is, quite frankly, a bargain. I knew I wouldn't be able to get it at that price ever again, so I snapped it up immediately. A, because it was cheap. B, it's Doctor Strange. I am a Doctor Strange nut. How am I ever supposed to resist that? Next on this list is Young Avengers Volume 1, which is Sidekicks, because I already own Volume 2 of this in physical format, which I bought like last year, and I've been waiting to read it, but I couldn't read it till I had Volume 1. So now that I've got Volume 1, I can now read both of these comics and see where they go. All I really know about them is the fact that Kate Bishop is in them, I think. So I'm hoping she's actually in these, because otherwise I have no idea what any of them are about or who is actually in them. So I'm quite excited to see where this goes. Another one on the Kate Bishop hunt was Avengers The Children's Crusade. Now I think this one's got something to do with Scarlet Witch and Wiccan, and that's all I know. I think Kate Bishop's in this. I'm 90% sure Kate Bishop is also in this one, so that's why I bought it. Also, I want to know more about Wiccan because I've seen him in one other Young Avengers comic that I have actually read, and also I saw him in Doctor Strange and the Sorceress Supreme, and I think he's such an interesting character and such a powerful character that I wanted to know more about him too, so I bought the comic. And the final Marvel comic I got was Dark Phoenix Saga, because Dark Phoenix is coming out as a movie in June, and I'm very overexcited for it, if I'm completely honest with you. So I had to buy this just so I knew a bit more about Dark Phoenix, because I don't really know anything further than what happened in the trailers and what happened in Last Stand, and I wanted to know a bit more about her comic counterpart and what happened there, so I bought Dark Phoenix Saga. And the final comic I got and the final book I actually got was Rat Queens Volume 2. I absolutely adored Volume 1 when I read it last month, thought it was absolutely brilliant, and so I bought it, not just because I love the comic, but also it means I've got something to read for one of the prompts for the owl, so that's really quick. So I'm very excited to read this one. I love the kick-ass women in this and the diversity in it. I think it's brilliant, and I cannot wait to read more about badass females kicking ass and trolls and general magic things. It just sounds like a great time and I can't wait. And that is everything I bought in March. And considering I've now hauled books 3 months in a row, I think I'm getting towards like 300 books on my TBR. So I should probably get through some of these, quite frankly. So I'm going to get right on that and try to get through a few of these before I buy more books. So wish me luck. And with that, I'm going to go so I can actually get through some of these. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do give me a thumbs up. Comment down below with what you bought in March and what you thought of any of the books I've just mentioned. I'll also leave a link down below to all my social media if you want to check it out. And if you want to see any more of my videos, please click subscribe here. And over here will be the link to my previous video. But until next time, guys, bye.